reporters, welcome back to my channel. It seems as though Rose Hanbury, who is rumored to have been or to be Prince William's mistress, she is being scrubbed from the internet. Rumors of their alleged affair are being scrubbed from the internet in a panic, real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now the question is, why is this being done, and who is motivated to do such a thing to this woman and these rumors? Because up until now, these suggestions or allegations have always just remained as such, you know, allegations. No one has ever really said that it is 100% true. No reputable source anyway, right? This is just gossip for the moment. So it seems rather strange for the royal family to all of a sudden go into like crazy feral rumor busting mode, demanding that all of these publications delete articles about Rose Hanbury. Not only articles claiming that she and William had an affair, but also articles claiming that she and Kate fell out as friends. And so the Vulture went and ran a complete expose on this. It's a super duper long, well-written story by Ellie Hall, which I will be linking to so that you guys can go ahead and read the full thing for yourself. I, of course, will not be reading the full article. I will be going over the highlights with you guys because it is very interesting. So as we go through the timeline of Rose Hanbury, her introduction to the press, which actually goes as far back as 20 years, I want to say 20 years ago now. Like there is an awful lot going on. So her first introduction to the press was back in 2002. So 12 years ago. She was only 18 years old. I want to say that Rose never really got a fair shake in the press. Like you're going to see a kind of like a theme, a recurring theme in articles about Rose. And to me, it's just like the way that she has been objectified and commodified as a person and as a body. And I find it to be rather disgusting, especially because, again, she started being written about when she was only 18 years old. She was barely legal. She was still a teenager, in my opinion, still a child. So just the fact that grown-ass people were writing these stories about, like, you know, a little girl is just really, really creepy. So definitely do keep that in mind as we kind of work our way throughout the timeline from 2012 up until today, 2014, and the scrubbing of these articles. And also, as we go through this, ask yourself, so isn't it interesting that the British royal family can go ahead and get things scrubbed off the internet? They can get rumors disappeared. They can threaten legal action. They can stop the press from harassing members of their family. It's interesting when they choose to do that and when they choose not to. So for example, this Rose thing, it's nowhere near the same level of vitriol that certain members of this royal family have received. They're, you know, like it's really insane to see the way that Harry and Meghan's claims get proven true time and time again. So again, full article is available on the Vulture. I did read it, so I'm going to go and skim over it with you guys so that we can go over what went down. So the wonderful journalist behind the story, Ellie Hall, talked about how she was doing like some research for a story. And as she was doing this research, she noticed, wait a minute, there used to be quite a few articles written about Rose Hanbury in general, her relationship with Kate, like friendship. Then there was rumors about them kind of like falling out. There was, of course, rumors of her allegedly having an affair with Prince William. All of that seems to have disappeared. The royal family really went crazy here. What is happening? So as she goes through her timeline, she starts back in May 17th of 2002. Like this is ages ago. This is like the internet is just starting, y'all. Like crank that thing up. Don't be on the phone at the same time articles were being written about Rose. So at this point she was 18 and they were saying, wow, like she is a member of London's new party people. She is an it girl. She's impossibly gorgeous. She and her elder sister Marina, things like that. So to me, seeing this, it signifies that Rose came from a family of status, right? For her to be having these articles written about her and whatnot at only 18 years old, like she's a somebody in the British world. Now, same year, edging into 2003, they continue to write about her being in the upper class party scene and everything like that. She signs towards a modeling agency. Storm Management is actually owned by Kate Moss, who later becomes the godmother of like her children. I don't know if she's the godmother of all three of her children, just the twins or just the daughter, but alas, that is the story there. Then in 2004 to 2005, more images of her out and about. And here's something that's really interesting. Her first connection to, like, you know, William comes in the form of her partying with William's stepsister, Laura Parker Bowles. And Laura Parker Bowles is the daughter of Camilla Parker Bowles. So this is Laura and this is Rose, partying together back in about 2004, 2005, if my memory, like my super short-term memory, because I just read this 2 seconds ago, serves me correct. There you go. Like, there's an in. She was already like in this stratosphere, and that, you know, that says a lot about like her and her status and everything like that, right? So, you know, then they start talking about like her body and everything like that, and a lot of like these articles and stuff, like, this girl, she's so young, she's got this amazing body, and she was only 22 years old, and this like old man, like 46-year-old man, is like, oh, you know what? Now I think it's time for me to like get married, have heirs and everything, because he's got about a 60 million pound fortune that he needs to pass on, and titles that he needs to pass on. So what better way for someone who's like past their prime, whose sperm is past its prime, to have heirs than to go for a very young, you know, woman who's just starting out in adulthood, right? Now, she had a friend who actually is a writer for a Spectator, the Spectator, which is like a news article or what, a news column or whatever, where he starts kind of planting the seeds. Oh, like, he should get married to Rose. You know, she's a lovely person. She's not just after his title, blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing. Even if she is just after his title, so what? She's 22 years old. The man is pushing 50. Like, why should she get with an old man? Not that 50, it's terrible to be old, you know, it's okay to be old, but why should a 22-year-old young girl get with a 50-year-old man pushing retirement age for any reason other than to gain something from it? I hate when they act like, oh, like, is he using her? Stop. Give her titles, give her money. She earns it at that point, you know? So they talk about her getting engaged and everything. And she was working in the world of politics for a little bit. And then she had to stop because she fell pregnant before she and her husband got married. And, like, you know, she was having a lot of morning sickness and everything like that. And at that point, she gave birth to the 2 children and whatnot. So voila, voila, la. And so now we get into the 2010s and everything like that, right? So that's when more negative articles start coming out about Rose. Now they're saying, oh, like, she and her sister, like, they both married men who are 20 years older than them. They are social climbers. They are gold diggers. They're this, they're that. Again, personally, I don't care. I think if you were in your 20s as a woman and you're going to get with an old man, the old man better bring you something to your life. I'm never going to feel bad for an old man who preys on barely legal girls. Okay. Sorry. Can't do it. I can't find a single, like, sympathy, care, whatever to give to these guys. Right. Like, these girls, they don't even have their frontal lobes fully developed. Like, they can't be that conniving to, like, you know, these guys who have lived double their lifetimes and everything like that, right? Now, so you start seeing this, like, in 2013, things get really vulgar. So in 2013, the girl, she's like, you know, still rather young, right? Like, she's like in her 20s and everything. And they, like, Tabler magazine publishes a really disgusting misogynistic article called Best Society Breasts, and Rose is included in this list. And it's just like, who asked for this? This is very pervy, very, very weird. Don't love it. And then they start linking Kate the following year in 2014, right? They're like, okay, William and Kate, they just gave birth to their second child. They're moving to Norfolk. And Rose and her husband already live there. Like, surely there's going to be drama. So it seems like the press already, Daily Mail, Daily Fail specifically, is already trying to cause discord between Rose and Kate. They never wanted these girls to be friendly or anything like that. And then what happens a little bit later, we see the infamous photo that I had showed earlier on in this video, which is of William, Kate, and Rose at Rose's home. Rose was hosting some sort of a fundraiser for some sort of a children's hospital, children's health cause or something like that. And William and Kate came out to support. It's actually specifically raising funds for the East Anglia Children's Hospices. And both Rose and Kate are patrons of this association. And so they both went out there to support, which I thought was wonderful. Then the next day following the event, the Daily Fail publishes a piece pitting both Rose and Kate against each other. So it's like just hit after hit after hit. This has been going on like forever, apparently, right? And so what do they say? Who's the queen bee of the turnip toffs? So turnip toffs is basically, turnips are, you know, known for growing in that area. Toffs is British slang for like, you know, rich, like, you know, bougie people or whatever. So who's going to be the queen? And now they're just like, oh, Kate lives a nice life, but like Rose's life is way better. And then in this article, you guys, in the Daily Mail, go ahead. Again, I'm going to link the Vulture article, which has the links to all of these other articles. What does the Daily Mail do? They say, oh, well, let's compare their looks, basically, right? Like, and their status. So Kate Middleton is middle class, but she managed to land Prince William, which is huge, and she managed to fit into the role rather well. Rose was already an upper crust woman. And what did they say? They said, next up, let's look at their bodies. They said, oh, Kate has a very like thin, like, you know, shapeless athletic body, and Rose has a bombshell figure with, quote, generous cleavage that puts Kate to shame, basically. Like, it was just really, really terrible stuff being written about her. So, like, you know, when it comes to things like that, I could see why the British royal family is like, guys, like, what is this, you know? But again, if you want to stop like articles of this like nature and of this taste of being written, you guys have to also stop participating in the toxicity. We know that the British royal family colludes, allegedly, with the Royal Rota to have hit pieces, fluff pieces, whatever you name it, written about each other, right, and themselves. So like, you know, it's just, it's crazy to watch all of this go down, but I digress. Now, as we go on, we start getting into like the claims of Rose. But by the way, they were also in the 2010s. They were also saying that Rose and Kate are actually rather friendly, even though they tried to kind of create this atmosphere of like, you know, rivalry between the girls. Like they were rather friendly at that time. And so it is disappointing to watch the press like completely misrepresented that, you know. Now, as we edge into the 2020s, this is when these like articles start getting deleted. So the first article that Vulture noticed getting deleted was an article that was published in March of 2019, where a Daily Mail reporter said that Rose was Kate's rural rival, and he claimed that they were battling to be queen bees of the turnip toffs and everything like that, and that Kate really feels threatened by Rose. Okay, then in March of 2019, Dan Wooten, who seems to have ties with William and Kate, so it is interesting that he ran this article, which would be the second article to be deleted in the series, where he claimed that there was a terrible falling out between Kate and Rose that really stunned royal insiders and rocked like the rich upper crust set of that like Norfolk area. And his sources claim that Kate and Rose used to be close, but it's not the case anymore. William wants to play peacemaker so the two couples can remain friends, but like Kate wants to phase Rose out. And then like things were really, really like hot and heavy. So I do believe that something happened in March of 2019. And again, I do believe that it potentially could be this rumored affair as well, because it's just, it's all too convenient and it's all coming out like this. So to me, this means that like there's a lot of like chatter about something happening. And like we, you know, these circles are tiny, they're so small, everybody knows everybody and everybody's business and everything like that. So I wouldn't be surprised like if these were true stories, right? So again, same thing in March again, and this is another article, well, two articles that have since been deleted. The Sun and Mail on Sunday both published articles talking about the tension between Kate and Rose, but also digging into similarities between the two of them, which to me seems a little bit like more like relaxed, but like, you know, when you look at the subtext of it is a little sinister, because they're about to start claiming that William is kind of like cheating, you know? So they're like, oh, like it makes sense that William would cheat on Kate for Rose. They are so similar. Let's list all the ways in which these two women are similar, right? So not great. And then they also talked about how Rose was like someone that William was considering courting at a certain point. And they said that when Rose and William first met, like they seemed to hit it off, but it's not like clear how close they were or anything like that. And then they also said, okay, well, Kate is trying to ice Rose out, but it's going to be difficult because William has known her for a while, which I do believe to be true, because remember, Rose was partying with William's stepsister, aka Camilla's daughter, for a while there, right? So she definitely is involved in this world and in this life. So anyway, there's just so many articles about like the evolution of Rose, like coming into like life as a socialite on her own, her meeting like Camilla's daughter, and then like William, and then like becoming friendly with Kate. Apparently there being some kind of like Kate feeling threatened by her and stuff, like just things like that, right? And then I believe once we get into the 2020s is when we start hearing about like a potential affair. So March of 2019, there's Lainey Gossip and Stella Bitchy, which published stories speculating that there's an affair going on between William and Rose. And those stories actually both got referred to a tweet that like, you know, is the one that like tipped this whole thing off. But it's like, I don't know, man, something's going on, right? So that's when like all of this affair stuff. So as you're like reading the timeline, deleted, you guys, everything is getting deleted. But this deletion seems to be something that's happening like super recently. So what is happening now? And again, I'm going to link to the full article if you want to read it. I don't want to read the full article for you because, you know, it's so wonderfully written. I think it's best to just read it in all its glory. But my question to you is, what is happening now, present day, for the British family to be going back to get those articles deleted? Again, Kate Middleton disappeared off of the face of the earth for the majority of this year. She's only popped up once. It was for the coronation. They claimed she had cancer and abdominal surgery and all these things. And then they had to fake all of these photos of her with the children and everything like that. And, you know, of course, everybody assumes, okay, well, if they're so desperate to hide the way Kate looks now, cancer must be whooping her ass, right? Like she must look like, you know, worse for wear and everything like that. But then when she popped up for the coronation, she looked amazing. She looked snatched. She looked better than she looks in this photo, right? People said that like her skin looks tighter. You know, everything looks like it was picked up and everything like that. I personally am of the belief that, you know, perhaps Kate is sick, but I feel like that's not the only explanation. It's not a logical explanation for why they were releasing fake photos of her if she was just going to pop up looking better than like she's looked in a long time. You know, I personally feel like there were some sort of negotiations behind the scenes. Perhaps Rose and William, you know, something was going on, and perhaps they were getting ready to push Kate out because during her disappearance, very suspicious articles started being written about Kate, like that were painting her as crazy, painting her as volatile, painting her as worried about losing her title and being on the way out. Was that stuff true? Listen, typically where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, I can't say for certain, but typically where there's smoke, there's fire, okay? And so I feel like Kate showing up at Trooping the Color, and I think that's what I meant to say earlier. I think I probably said coronation by accident, so I apologize for that. But Kate popping up at Trooping the Color to me was a symbol that she won these negotiations, right? For whatever it is, to remain married to William. You know, if there's no love there, it's out of title for the both of them, right? I think she won the negotiations to potentially become queen in the future, or queen consort, whatever you want to call it. And I also think that as part of it, she also said, you guys have to erase all traces of Rose. I am sick and tired of rumors about William cheating on me with Rose, wreaking havoc on my public reputation. I run this show now. You guys need me. Get rid of all of this stuff. That is what I personally, in my heart of heart, feel is what really went down behind the scenes for the British royal family to all of a sudden be interested in scrubbing Rose Hanbury from the internet and any references of her in relation to Kate or in relation to William. It's just all so convenient that now that Kate, you know, disappeared and then reappeared, that like, you know, things that she would want to be gone are being, you know, erased, right? I think this lends credence to my initial hypothesis that she was, you know, she was not playing ball. She was not going to sit down for these pictures, even though she very well could have. She looked perfectly fine. And now that she's running the show and they see how much they need her and how big and strong and heavy that rumor mill was, she's saying, no, we're done. We're done. We're done. And I do think that now she is going to be able to successfully ice Rose out of the circle if that is something that she wants to do or even still needs to do. I imagine that Rose took a step back on her own anyway, given that this has injured her own personal reputation. Remember, Rose grew up in these huge elite social circles. She doesn't need this stuff. She didn't need to climb her way to marry William. Like, you know, she has everything that Kate has and more, AKA she's got all the freedom in the world. She's not under the same microscope that Kate is under, you know, and especially before all of this, like, you know, rumor mill stuff started churning. But I digress. Again, I do find it really interesting that the family is able to delete these kinds of stories and threaten these journalists or writers or whatever about Kate or William or Rose, but they didn't do that to protect people who were being, you know, quite literally abused on the internet. And in fact, they helped these people, you know, they helped provide information, false information and whatnot to help contribute to other people's abuse, right? So let's take a look at April of 2019. There is something rather interesting here mentioned in the Vulture article. Quote, the International Business Times, a US-based outlet, published Princess William Harry's frosty relationship due to heir's infidelity, not Meghan Markle. So there it is. Primarily a rewrite of a viral Twitter thread by writer Nicole Cliff that was posted March 30th. In a Substack post published April 25th, Cliff clarifies she is not a journalist, reporter, royal insider, or source, and she should not be cited as such. This is gossip. I do not know these things. So basically, the International Business Times went and took something, which was a hypothesis by, like, you know, just, you know, any lay person like you or I, and they published it, and then they got a visit from the royal lawyer saying, you better go ahead and delete this. Delete, delete, delete. Because guess what happens next? The Express publishes and later deletes a story that, while not exactly critical of Kate, is a lot more pointed than most of the coverage about her. So, you know, they tried to be objective and to really, like, talk about, like, Kate as a person without, like, putting her through kids' gloves the way that they are required to in order to get access to this family. And what happened? Kate's henchmen said, absolutely not. Put them gloves back on. Delete that article or we're going to ice you out. Quote, and this is a quote from the article, by the way, everything has changed for Kate Middleton after Rose Hanbury feud and Meghan wedding. Referencing the recent coverage of Catherine's desire to oust Rose from her and William's friend group, the piece quotes writer Daniela Elster as saying, this depiction of Kate is one of a woman who is crafty and who cruelly amputates friends when she decides they are persona non grata. That image is galaxies apart from the carefully honed construct of bland perfection we've been fed for years. So they're saying, listen, everything ain't as it seems with old Katie girl. Woo! Anyway, guys, something's happening behind the scenes, and I don't think that this is a sign of more to come, aka like William and Rose trying to cover their tracks. I think this is Kate, the phoenix rising from the ashes now that she holds all the cards, saying, I need a cleanup on aisle 3 because this stuff harms my reputation. This harms my SEO. This harms, like, my marriage, the image of my marriage and everything like that. But I digress. Let me know what you guys' hypotheses are about this and why these articles are suddenly being deleted. And when you go read this article, do make sure to try, like, Vulture says they cannot link to the deleted articles for legal reasons, but go ahead, they list the titles of the would-be articles. Go ahead and search them and you'll see. For example, I searched one on I searched one on Google in general, and it was about, like, how Rose and Kate were allegedly feuding. And then the top search result was an article from Grazia magazine, which is an Italian magazine. I clicked through and guess what? 404 error. This website is unavailable. So, like, it's the real deal, you guys. You know, it's happening. Something's going on. The cleanup is happening in order to help continue to position Kate as the future Queen of England. Let me know what you think about all this. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more royal gossip, celebrity gossip, and reality TV recaps. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.